Hello, welcome to the Camera Nostalgia Club. In today's video, I'm going to be using a camera from 2005. It's a 5 megapixel Panasonic Lumix DMC-FZ5. I will be taking it to a nice little village tomorrow. I've never been there before, so it'll be interesting to see what I capture through the camera. I'm also using it on warm mode. There is a mode in the settings called warm, and I've taken it out over the past few days. I've been to the seaside and stuff. I'll show you all those photos, and I just love the feeling of this feature. So you'll obviously see that throughout the video. I would just quickly like to say as well, I'm nearly at 4,000 subscribers on the channel. The Nostalgia Club has nearly hit another landmark. I'm so grateful and thankful for everyone that comments, likes, and enjoys the content I make, because obviously it makes me want to make even more. And I'm really enjoying it this year. So thank you all very much, and I hope you enjoy this one. When I make these videos, I like to take the camera out a few days previous to the main event, being the town that I'm going to tomorrow. Just in case there's any things that I'm not sure about the camera, or if there's anything wrong, obviously, then I can know before taking it to the main destination. I'd always recommend that, because in the past I've picked up a camera, took it out on the same day, and found that the pictures were all faulty or something along those lines. I decided to walk through to the seaside. I had a good idea for a shot in mind, and I'm quite lucky actually. My location, although it's quite busy with traffic and cars and stuff like that, there is a few quiet churches and places in between where I live and the seaside. So I thought I'd walk through. It takes about an hour, but I got to see both of these churches and take some pictures on the camera. I finally made it to the location I had in mind. I'd actually been here before a few years ago, but I wasn't as aware of how good this shot actually was and how much I liked it. I just think it makes for a great shot, as it is a zebra crossing, and it obviously leads and frames the sea behind it. I am thinking about going back with a film camera maybe and getting some film shots and stuff. It's just a shot that I think looks really good, so I hope you like the photos. And then the day came that I was going to the little town. I went with my dad and my brother, being the dog Baxter. I've never been to this town before, as I said, so it was going to be really interesting to see how I perceive it through the camera. It was about an hour's drive from where I live. It was very nice because I live in quite a built up, busy area, and the closer you got to this place, the more and more it was less populated. It was felt a bit more rural, and it was surrounded by fields. And that feeling continued as we came into the town, because all of the houses were very old, and you can tell that they've kept the originality of everything. There was houses and buildings with thatched roofs still. It was very common throughout the town, and you can just see that they wanted to keep it feeling old school, which is always nice to see. And it's nice to take an old camera to somewhere where they appreciate the old times, I guess. It seemed like a very nice day trip town. There was loads of bikers there. I absolutely understand why they would use this place as a meeting point. There's a few cosy pubs to enjoy. We went into the Fox on the Green and had the pie, so if you're ever in the area, definitely go and check out the pie there. But even inside the pub, you can tell that they embrace the quirkiness of the old times. Just a note on the camera as well, I noticed it doesn't really do well in low light, but I wasn't changing any of the settings. I was literally just using it on program automatic, because as I've said in previous videos, I use a lot of these cameras, so I can't really dive into the manual settings and get too involved with each one. But obviously that's something that you can work with, and to be honest, I think the camera performed really well how I was using it outside. So we continued walking and exploring around the village. We went up to the church on top of the hill. There's two main features to this town. There is an old post mill that I'll come back to in a minute, and a church, and they're both obviously the main features because they're on top of the hill. So the first thing you see when you look up is these two things. The church was very interesting. They've kept a lot of the original features. It actually had a museum and a cafe and stuff, but it wasn't open on the day but nonetheless it was just really interesting looking around and seeing what this little town had to offer. It was a very grand church that dated from the 14th century. It was like the main feature of the town, really. Very grand, loads of different angles. You could literally walk around the whole thing and all the houses were around it, you know, just very a central piece of the town. And another amazing building that overlooks the town is the old post mill. It was thought to have been built around 1756 and it stopped working in 1890. Naturally, it made for some really interesting photographs, I believe, because again, you could walk around this structure and really try and get creative with the lines in the photos. And as I said, this town, like all of the houses and stuff, are sort of on top of each other, so you like have to sort of work with what's there and what has been there for hundreds of years, which is really cool, I think. So here's some pictures and footage of the mill. So to sum up my experience with the camera, I really enjoyed it. Again, it's one of these cameras that you obviously want to put on a strap and have it around your neck or by your side on your arm. I did make it a case to use the viewfinder on this camera. I just wanted to switch up and do something different because obviously in my other videos I've been using the LCD screens on the back of the cameras. The viewfinder's just fine. It's basically an electronic viewfinder, meaning that you see what you would see on the back of the camera just with your eye, and I do think this makes for some interesting framing, and I think you do see the world slightly differently through the viewfinder. One thing to note, and I didn't really get much of it because I was going more for the photo aspect in this video, but the video mode isn't great. But then obviously the reason why we like to use these old cameras with the video mode is to get that really sort of old look. But in my opinion, you can probably get better looking old vintage footage, because I'm aware some people actually want to use these for music videos and stuff. But at the end of the day, if you like the look, that's all that matters. And to round it off, I would absolutely recommend this camera to anyone that is interested in it. I will also list all of the specs below for anybody interested. If you got this far, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed that one. I really liked the camera and it was nice to go somewhere new and experience it with an old camera. In the space of time since making the intro and this outro, I have made it to 4,000 subscribers. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It is another landmark that I can tick off my list of things I want to do with the Nostalgia Club. And if you do enjoy the videos, I'd love to just make more of them and make more memories with the cameras, and also at the same time give you information on them and help you decide if you want one. So I hope you enjoy the content. If you do, a subscribe would mean the world. 5,000 next, hopefully. So thank you and goodbye.